The Traumatizing Web Tales mod just dropped, and it is basically a collection of some of the creepiest web series that have been on the internet over the years, and have probably traumatized some of you. The first song in the mod is from an animation called Shed.Mov, and while this one may have also been a creepypasta originally, it was definitely most well known by being a dark animation created by Hot Diggity Demon back in 2012, and that was back when a lot of crazy My Little Pony animations were being created. I'm sure some of y'all saw some of the weird Pinkie Pie stuff that was being created back in the day. Now this animation revolves around Fluttershy, and I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but her animation was kind of sad because she was really bullied by the other ponies. They would constantly beat her, and there was even a scene where they poured blood all over her, just like the scene from Carrie, if any of you are actually old enough to remember that movie. But even with all that mistreatment, the one thing that was consistent was Fluttershy saying,
"Come on, you guys, don't tease me, I'm shy. Stay out of my shed."
Now, of course, Rainbow Dash, Spike, and Pinkie Pie seem to have forgotten this fact and went into her shed anyway, and they were promptly greeted with a bunch of dead bodies, brains, and blood everywhere. And it became obvious that the shed was being used as like Fluttershy's personal murder shack. We even see a less known pony named Derpy, or aka Muffins, who literally got her skin peeled over a toaster. So in the animation, we just saw a toaster with a face. Now, as the ponies and Spike were exploring the shed, Fluttershy actually shows up behind them looking completely insane. And while Pinkie Pie and Spike are able to escape, Rainbow Dash is captured. Fluttershy straps her to a chair and puts her through a series of tortures, but it ends with her taking a chainsaw and basically splitting her head in half. The cops do end up showing up, but unfortunately they are too late to actually save Rainbow Dash, but they do at least take Fluttershy to an insane asylum. Now in the mod, it's obvious that Boyfriend takes the place of Rainbow Dash, but it seems like Girlfriend doesn't actually make an appearance in this one for some reason. Next, we're going to talk about the Blank Room Soup. And if you hate mascot horror, you're definitely not going to like this one because it's basically mascot horror, but in real life. Now, the popular belief behind this video is that it's from the dark web, and the man in the video has been kidnapped and is being tortured by some mafia-like figures. Another popular belief is that the man isn't just eating regular soup, but actually the remains of his wife, who supposedly was captured alongside him, and now he's being forced to feast on her remains, which is why he's actually crying in the video. And the strange men in costumes that are stroking his back only seem to make this whole situation even weirder and more creepy. And it actually gets even worse after this scene. After the mascot runs at the man, we hear a scream and then the camera cuts to black, implying that they kill him. Now, another creepy fact about this situation is that the creator of these costumes, who goes by the name of Raymond Percy, came forward saying that 2 of his costumes were missing, which caused people to believe that maybe this was all done by some crazy fans that wanted to honor Raymond's art, but they simply took it too far. Now in the mod, Pico takes the place of the original man that was captured, but Pico seems to handle captivity much better than the other dude. Which probably doesn't surprise anybody. Pico is kind of crazy, so if anyone's going to actually handle a kidnapping situation, it's probably him. The sad part to think about is who's actually in his soup. I would assume that it's Nene or maybe Darnell, but we don't really know. Next in the mod, we see a character named Gorx Mouse, who's created by a YouTuber named Gorx. The original video was posted many years ago, but ended up being deleted by YouTube because so many people were disturbed by it. I think another version of the video is up now, but it doesn't have nearly the amount of views that it had when it was originally posted. Now the video does have a lot of the same factors that the original Mouse.avi had, but as Mickey is walking, the destruction of the buildings in the background is more pronounced, and as the video progresses more, you can clearly see him starting to lose his sanity. And at the end of his walk, he seems to die. We see him actually laid out on the ground, not moving, looking very twisted up, which may be why people didn't care for this video initially. Next in the mod, we see a character named Andros, and he's the main antagonist of the Star Fox video game series, but the mod is making reference to a video that is about 15 years old. It's a video of Andros singing and floating in some void while a woman named Goddess Bunny starts to dance in the background in a ballerina outfit. The video is supposed to be the creation of like a Latin American cult called La Morsa, which I think translates out to the Walrus, and the legend says that anyone that watches the video will become cursed with bad luck. The sad part about this video though is that Goddess Bunny is a real person, and she's more known for this weird creepy video as opposed to the fact that she was born with polio and had some body disfigurement, but she still ended up chasing her dreams and became like a actress and even starred in some music videos. It's kind of sad though that this will be more of her legacy than anything else. Next we have this creepy puppet that is based on a old show called Pirate Ahoy, and when I say show, I'm not talking about TV, but rather a literal puppet show on a stage. There's also a show called Cove, which this puppet is based on, and this show is pure nightmare fuel.
I'm scared, Laughingstock. There's something in there.
There sure is, Pirate Percy. Don't you want some treasure?
Sure.
Well then, you have to go inside.
I think there's also a bit of a creepypasta that basically talks about adults meeting on a internet forum talking about a show that they used to watch as a kid that had pirates in it. Like 3 or 4 of the adults get together and they start putting together this memory, and then one of the adults actually goes back and talks to his mother, who's in like a old folks home, and asks her, why did you let me watch this old creepy pirate show? And the weird part about it is that his mom says, I always thought it was weird that you talked about watching a pirate show. Whenever you would go to the TV, you would just be watching static. And it's even creepier because these adults remember being kids and actually seeing things on the television. Creepy images like these little dolls screaming, like in this clip here. The crazy thing is that this show is from back in the 70s, so realistically, they probably got away with a lot more creepy stuff than they would get away with today. So some of this may actually be real to some extent. The next character in the mod is the You Are an Idiot virus, and it's basically like a scareware developed back in like 1990, I believe, by some unknown dude. The virus would basically fill your screen with pop-ups of little smiley faces, which would, as the name suggests, start to call you an idiot, and then the smiley faces would start to flash black and white while just laughing at the user. And while I guess this isn't the worst virus ever, I could see why people would definitely find it to be annoying. Next, we have these deceptively cute puppies named Poochie and Pansy, who are going on like a little adventure to save their friend. And while it starts out kind of cute, it quickly takes a dark turn when they arrive at a cave called Sufferdark and meet a friend named Freddy, who happens to be a firefly. This is where we learn about creatures called rock bats that can take the form of other creatures, and they have done so with Freddy. When the puppies found out about this, they make a run for it, eventually finding the real Freddy. But it seems like it was an ambush, and the pups are captured and taken to the castle of the witch. And this is where the animation gets kind of gross. The witch literally pulls Poochie's eye out. But in the next episode, we see that the puppies have managed to kill the witch somehow, and more importantly, Poochie has actually taken the witch's eye. And this is why in the mod we see a scene where he actually has an eye that's all inflamed and poking out. It's because that is technically the witch's eye. The remaining episodes are just like a fever dream of different images that I think has something to do with an ARG back in the day, but considering that this content is over a decade years old, it doesn't really have any meaning today. But I think people who are actually playing the game back in the day could use some of the codes found in these videos in order to solve puzzles in the ARG. And if some of you are wondering why there's images where the dogs look kind of demonic or where their faces are missing or something like that, it's because those are like images from the original videos. When I say some of the images were nightmare fuel, I'm not exaggerating on this one. And if you're old enough to remember the original videos of these guys, you know that the originals were way worse than the re-uploads. I think they took a lot of stuff out because maybe it was too creepy, but I think it's safe to say that YouTube a decade ago was definitely a different place. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe today to become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you next time with another video. Peace, peace.